Okay, if you've ever recorded music, mixed a podcast, or designed sound for film, you know this frustration. Why is it so incredibly hard to make your mix sound great everywhere? Well, today, we're going to dig into a scientific solution that promises to fix the room itself so you can finally hear what's really going on in your mix.
It's that sinking feeling, isn't it? You spend hours, maybe even days, getting a mix to sound absolutely perfect on your studio speakers. It's powerful, it's clear, it's just right. And then you take it out to the real world. You play it in the car, on your earbuds, or in a theater, and it just completely falls apart. What on earth happened?
And this just lays out the heartbreak perfectly. In your studio, everything is pristine. The bass is punchy and clear, the stereo image is wide and immersive. But in the car, that same bass turns into a boomy, muddy disaster. The whole mix feels narrow, and the vocals either disappear or sound super harsh. Look, this isn't because you're bad at mixing. It's a translation problem. That boominess in the car, it's almost always because of a bass buildup in your studio that you couldn't even hear, so you had no way to fix it.
So why does this keep happening? Well, it turns out the problem often isn't your ears or your plugins or even your speakers. It's the room. And more specifically, it's the flawed conventional wisdom, the myths we've all been told about how to treat our rooms. So let's bust 3 of the biggest and most expensive myths right now.
Myth number 1, the idea that your treatment just needs to look good. I mean, we've all seen those studios on Instagram, right? They're beautiful, symmetrical. Everything is lined up in these perfect, clean grids. It just looks professional. So that's what we do.
But here's the reality check. Sound waves do not care one bit about your interior design. They obey the laws of physics. And putting panels in a neat, symmetrical pattern almost guarantees you're going to miss the real problem spots. Those invisible hotspots where bass frequencies pile up and completely destroy the accuracy of what you're hearing.
All right, let's move on to myth number 2. The good old mirror trick. You know this one. You have a friend slide a mirror along the wall, and wherever you see your speaker in that mirror from your listening chair, you stick up a panel. It's like the first piece of advice everyone gets.
And look, the mirror trick isn't totally useless, but it's only solving a tiny piece of the puzzle. It's a guessing game that only deals with mid and high frequencies. It does absolutely nothing for the low frequency problems, those deep bass pressure zones that you can't see, which are the real reason your mixes sound muddy everywhere else.
And myth number 3. This one is huge. The percentage rule. You hear it all the time from forums and even from some manufacturers. Oh, just cover about 30 to 40% of your walls with panels and you'll be fine. It sounds so simple and scientific, right? Like a formula.
Let's be real. It's not science, it's a sales tactic. Think about it. If a company sells you panels by the square foot, of course they want you to buy more of them. This rule makes you overspend on material and, most importantly, it completely fails to answer the single most critical question. Where do those panels need to go to actually do their job?
So if pretty patterns, old tricks, and sales pitches aren't the answer, what is? Well, it requires a total shift in thinking. We need to stop focusing on just buying more panels and start focusing on the precise placement of the panels we have. It's about finally trading guesswork for physics.
And that brings us to the solution. It's a technology called the LAP engine, which stands for Location Aware Panel Engine. Now, this isn't another rule of thumb. It's a patented algorithm that uses hardcore physics to calculate the exact, scientifically optimal placement for acoustic panels in your specific room.
So what does all that complex science actually get you? Well, it gets you this number. Because the algorithm finds the single most effective spot for every single panel, you end up needing way fewer of them. We're talking up to 35% fewer panels to get a better result. That's a huge deal.
This whole approach, which they call WavePlace, really gives you 3 massive advantages. First, fewer panels. That means you can spend your hard-earned money on new mics or plugins, not extra foam. Second, you get pinpoint coordinates. No more guessing. You know exactly where to hang every panel down to the millimeter. And third, it's brand agnostic. It works with whatever panels you already have or any brand you want to buy.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, scientifically analyzing my room sounds really complicated and expensive. But honestly, the way it works is surprisingly straightforward. They've really streamlined the whole thing.
It's really just a 4-step process. First, you do a room scan by just entering your room's dimensions and materials online. Simple stuff. Second, the LAP engine does the heavy lifting. It combines 3 different physics models to map out bass buildup,
calculate how sound bounces off your desk and walls, and trace every reflection. It builds a complete 3D acoustic picture of your space. Third, the algorithm then runs literally thousands of simulations to find the one single layout that's the most effective. And finally, you get a simple PDF report with a precise map.
And that final report is so clear and easy to follow that it's been described as being just like a set of Lego instructions. You just follow the map, there's no more guessing, no more moving panels around for days. You just do what it says and you hit that acoustic sweet spot the very first time.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hey, there are free calculators online for this stuff. And you're right, there are. But let's be really clear about the difference. Those free tools use very basic, generic math to give you a rough estimate. The LAP engine combines multiple complex physics models to generate a millimeter-accurate map. It's the difference between a wild guess and actual physics-driven precision.
And all of that precision leads to the one thing that really matters for any audio pro: measurable results. This isn't just theory and cool graphics. This is something that has been proven to work in the real world.
And here's the proof right here. Field tests have shown that the system's predictions are accurate to within plus or minus 1 decibel of the actual measured acoustic response in a room, especially in that critical bass region below 200 Hz. For anyone who knows acoustics, that is an absolutely astonishing level of accuracy. That's your guarantee that this actually works.
So how can you find out what this science says about your room? Well, and this is the best part, you can actually start for free. No credit card, no commitment. It's a totally risk-free way to see what's going on in your space.
And this isn't some throwaway freebie. The free snapshot gives you genuinely useful information. You'll get your room's estimated reverb time, a heat map that shows you potential bass problems just based on where your speakers are, and a scientifically recommended panel count, not just some generic percentage.
So the takeaway here is pretty simple. It's time to stop guessing. It's time to stop wasting money on panels you don't need and putting them in the wrong places. Go get your free snapshot, and you can finally start to hear the clean, uncolored, accurate truth that your speakers have been trying to tell you all along.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Every single room has its own unique acoustic fingerprint, its own hidden problems, and its own hidden potential. The only question left is, what sonic truths are hiding in your room?